Hey guys, if you clicked on this video, then you're probably wondering what it takes to be a millionaire. And the simple answer is to save money, invest, possibly create a side hustle, and then you're done. But it's actually not that easy, right? Otherwise, everyone would be a millionaire right now. Well, when I was in my 20s, I went on that quest to figure out how I could become a millionaire. When I graduated from my master's degree at UCLA, I was surprised to find out that the career path that I ended up working at was not enough to make me wealthy, even though I had worked so hard to get there. So despite working at a Fortune 500 company as an engineer, I had coworkers who were in a terrible financial position. And I thought to myself, is this gonna be my future in 30 years? I realized that in order to be successful, I had to take control of my own finances. So as I started learning about personal finance, I quickly found out that being a millionaire was not some secret club that you had to be born into. You could easily become one as long as you had certain habits. In this video, I'll be sharing the 7 habits that I use to become a millionaire and how by applying them to your own life, you can be as well. So habit number 1 is to have a strong sense of self-discipline. Let's admit it. It's hard to have self-discipline. Have you ever made a promise to yourself only to fail within a week? An example of this might be some New Year's resolutions that you may have made in the past that you just failed to uphold. It's okay, I'm not judging you. But having a strong sense of self-discipline is an incredibly important part of becoming a millionaire because there are so many things out there that can distract you from your path to financial freedom. So as an example, after graduating from college and getting our first jobs, my friends and I suddenly had way more money coming in than we ever had before. And so I started seeing my friends upgrading their lifestyles and buying nicer clothes, fancy cars, and spending hundreds of dollars every weekend on parties and bottle service. And naturally seeing that gave me FOMO and it tempted me to join them. But I knew that I wanted a future beyond just a regular life, that I couldn't just act a certain way and I need to do things a little bit differently. So I practiced delayed gratification, and instead of going out every day for happy hour, I would go home early and read books and work on some side hustles. Having self-discipline also allowed me to persevere through a lot of the hard times of starting a business, especially when things weren't really working out. Maintaining self-discipline kept me accountable and helped me stay focused on my goals. So this leads me to habit number 2. Habit number 2 is to read. Now, I read a lot of books in my 20s, but before I graduated from college, I hated it. I wasn't the best in the English class and would only read books if I had to for school. But once I graduated from college, I realized that books were full of useful information and how important it is to read. By reading, you can take all the life experiences that someone has and digest it in just a few hours. So instead of having to live 80 years and learning all of these crazy life lessons, you can just read someone else's life story, which is amazing. Now, when I first started reading, I eased into it by reading some inspirational books and some self-help books. Some of my favorites were Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. These books shifted my mindset and taught me the power of self-belief. They trained me to believe that I could do anything as long as I put my mind and energy into making it a possibility. Having a powerful mindset is so important because it allows you to accomplish things that seem impossible at first, and also helps you remove the self-doubt and negative talk that you might find yourself doing. As Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So after reading several books to improve my mindset, I started reading more technical books about topics that I was interested in. So these are books that teach you exactly what to do if you want to accomplish something. So I started reading books on how to invest and how to become a millionaire through real estate investing. I learned how to analyze deals, how to implement different tax strategies, and how to negotiate just by reading books that were dedicated to these subjects. After a while, I started to notice that a lot of these books started to repeat themselves, and they started to give the same tips. So eventually, I moved over to autobiographies. Autobiographies are stories written by the author about the author's own life. And I love reading these types of books because unlike a regular biography, where you just read about someone's life story as it was researched, you get to peek into the author's mind and see what they were thinking during an important part of their life. So I'm able to step into their shoes and see what their challenges were and see if I would have made the same decisions that they did. By reading books like these, I train myself to think like a millionaire and make the same decisions that millionaires make. Reading is really important because it allows you to gain multiple lifetimes of experiences and perspectives to help you gain wisdom for your own life. Now moving on to number 3. The third habit that changed my life in my 20s was to have a regular workout routine. Now you may be thinking that working out has nothing to do with being a millionaire, but that's definitely not the case. Working out is a habit that the wealthy tend to have in common. According to Tom Corley, author of Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, 76% of the rich exercise for at least 30 minutes a day. Now, when I was in college, I used to be on the Dragon Boat team. My friends and I were all really buff, and we used to work out all the time and do CrossFit. But once we graduated from college, a lot of my friends just stopped working out in general. They would sit at their desk all day long, they would eat more, and eventually they started developing some physical health problems. They started getting carpal tunnel, they had lower back problems, and they would tell me that they could physically feel their metabolism slowing down. They lost energy, which caused them to be lazier, which meant that they didn't have the motivation or the drive to work on anything else outside of their full-time job. And I didn't want that to happen to me, so I continued going to the gym on a regular basis. To this day, I don't have any of the same physical problems that a lot of my friends do. Now, I'm not trying to become like a bodybuilder or anything, but my goal is to stay fit for the rest of my life and try to go to the gym at least 4 times a week. And when you're in your 20s, it's important to develop a habit of working out because it will carry you for the rest of your life. I mean, after all, you only have one body. If you stop working out, it gets exponentially harder to get back into it because you're gonna be sore, you're gonna get demotivated, and on top of that, medical expenses tend to be higher for those who are less fit. So to reiterate, working out is great for de-stressing yourself and it helps for your overall health. By working out, your self-confidence will improve, you're gonna have less health problems, and you're gonna have a clearer mind so you can get back to working on your side hustles and becoming a millionaire. Health is wealth, so saving time for a daily workout routine is important. And speaking of time, that brings us to habit number 4, which is to spend your time wisely. Most young people take their time for granted, but millionaires make sure to use it wisely because they understand that, unlike money, time cannot be replaced. And at a certain point, you're gonna realize that you can always make more money, but you can't take your time back. So for me, I realized that spending more time at work and at a job was not worth it because I could spend my excess time and energy on my side hustles. Now, when you're young and you don't have a business running, you need to spend your time on self-development. So that means you should be reading, you should be going to the gym, you should be going to meetups to build connections, instead of squandering that time by watching TV and playing games nonstop. Now, there's definitely nothing wrong with spending some quality time with your friends here and there, but if your friends are meeting up every night for happy hour, you need to limit how often you go out and learn to manage your time wisely. Now, you may think that you're too young to start your own business or your side hustle, but I'm telling you, time moves quickly, and you may find yourself 20 years later thinking, wow, now I'm too old to start. And time is so valuable that billionaires would likely give up everything that they have if they meant that they can go back 30 years in the past, but they can't because time always moves forward. So to maximize your time, I recommend creating a to-do list every day and plan out what items you need to accomplish to be successful. So make sure that whatever's on that list is actually important and pushes you towards your goals and that you get them done every day. Now, habit number 5 is to live below your means. Now, living below your means is probably the most important habit here when it comes to becoming a millionaire because no matter how much money you make, if you end up spending more than what you earn, then you're never going to become a millionaire. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the world with a net worth of over $70 billion, still maintains a very humble lifestyle and continues to live in a modest home that he bought over 50 years ago. So when I graduated from college, I made decent income, but I refused to upgrade my lifestyle, such as upgrading my car. At the time, I was driving my mom's old 2002 Corolla, and I was determined to continue driving it forever. And I still drive a Corolla to this day. And I enjoy it because, one, the maintenance is cheaper, so I don't have to worry about the condition of the car as much. So if I bought a super nice car, then I would be constantly worried about it getting scratched or parking it in a sketchy area. And the same thing goes for clothes. Like you can buy a luxury t-shirt for $1,000 at Neiman Marcus, or you can buy a nice t-shirt for $10 that looks just as good. So for me, I didn't care about spending excess money on these frivolous things, and I prefer to save and spend on things that really matter to me. So instead of spending my money every weekend going out, I invested in different stocks and eventually real estate because I was excited to see the total value grow over time. Living below your means is super important because it allows you to save the difference. So you might be wondering, what are some ways that I can live below my means? So an easy way is to automate your savings. So if you're being paid a salary, then you know how much you're making every single month. Tell your employer to split your paychecks so that a certain percentage goes towards savings while the rest goes into a regular checking account. That way, you'll be automatically hitting your savings goals and you can spend what's in your checking account guilt-free. Another thing that I did when I was first getting started was I created a wish list of things that I really wanted instead of impulse buying. So at the beginning of the year, I would write down all the big ticket items I wanted with their prices, and I would save based on that wish list. I would add things such as a fancy pillow, or trips overseas, or anything else I wanted to buy. The benefit of having a habit of living below your means is that your stress level will go down. You're not going to be anxious of emergencies because you know that you're going to have enough to cover them. It'll also help you in the long run so that you don't start increasing your spending as you earn more in the future. So the more you save and invest, the faster you're going to become a millionaire, which leads to habit number 6, which is to invest and create multiple income streams. Now, according to a recent study, 65% of self-made millionaires have at least 3 streams of income. Most people only have 1 stream of income, which is their job. And it's really hard to save your way to $1 million just from your salary. I did the math a long time ago, and if I commit to saving $1,000 a month, which is already pretty hard as my salary back then at the end of the year, I would have $12,000. But after 10 years of saving this way, I would only have $120,000, and it would take me over 80 years to save up $1 million. So I thought there had to be a better way. But then I started reading books and learning about investing. And I read a book called The Millionaire Teacher. That in it, the author talks about how he was able to become a millionaire through investing in the stock market, even though he only made $40,000 a year. And I was like, wow, how is this even possible? So I learned early on that investing is the true way to build wealth. And I was able to redo the math and found out that I could dramatically shorten the time frame to become a millionaire from 80 years to 30 to 40 years. So that got me really excited. And I learned that the earlier you put in your money, the more it grows because of compounding. So ever since then, I always made it a habit to be investing. Now, if you're just saving, your money is also going down in value due to inflation. But for example, back in the day, you can buy cheeseburgers at McDonald's for just 39 cents. Whereas now they're at least $1. Another reason why you can't just rely on your job as your only source of income is because you don't have any control over it. Your boss determines how much money you make, and they can lay you off at any time. A company has no loyalty to you. They can take away your pay, not give you the raise that you think you deserve. You can work really hard and bleed for the company, and they can just let you go for any reason. You need more than 1 stream of income, and you need to be able to sustain yourself. So I tried many different businesses, and many of which failed or didn't produce as much income as I hoped. Eventually, I got into real estate investing and learned that it was relatively easy to do because you just need to look at the numbers and make sure everything makes sense. I learned that you could buy a rental property, start renting it out, and gain passive cash flow. The more properties that I bought, the more passive income I would get. And I even had a house in the Bay Area, which as you guys may know is a very high cost of living area. But by renting out all of the rooms to my friends and my coworkers, I created another income stream that actually let me live in the Bay Area for free. Now we're in a situation where we have multiple income streams on multiple platforms. And there are so many ways to earn income outside of a main job. Find one that fits you and make it happen. Your 9-to-5 job should be where you make your money to live, but your 5 to 9 is where you make your future. Don't just work at a day job and chill. But finally, we get to habit number 7, which is to surround yourself with people who could help you hit your financial and professional goals. You need to connect with people that you want to be like and observe what they do with their time and analyze the choices that they make. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to ditch your old friends when they no longer serve your direct interests, but you need to be open to making new friends as well. One of the best ways that I got started with real estate investing was by attending local real estate investing meetup groups. We would meet once a month and I would talk with actual people who were doing the things that I wanted to do. They taught me how to invest and they pseudo-mentored me and answered any of my questions when I couldn't find them in books or online. People at these meetups were often a little bit older than me, maybe 20 or 30 years older, but unlike my coworkers, these were people that I actually aspired to be in the future. And I even created my own mastermind group where I would host a couple of friends to come over to my house once a month. And we would have these 2-hour sessions where everyone would talk about their goals and their aspirations. And it was really nice because we were there to hold each other accountable. So if you try to do everything yourself, it gets pretty hard and you can easily get away with being lazy and not doing it because no one's watching you. But if you're in a group and you need to provide a status update, then you're more likely to get something done. So building connections is really helpful and important, especially when you're in your 20s. So those are my 7 habits that I made in my early 20s that helped me become a millionaire. Let me know which one you like the best or you think that they all sucked and that there are better ones out there. And whatever the case, let me know down in the comment section below. The earlier you apply these habits, the faster you will become a millionaire. And if you want to know how you can become a millionaire on a low salary, check out this video over here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.